Hello, my name is Tony and welcome back to Fragdicted. In today's episode, we're going to be reviewing the last of the 4 new fragrances from Pocketscents, and this one is called Oud Opulenza. Have I saved the best till last? Stay right where you are and you'll find out. So thanks for joining me again. Really excited to review this one. This is the most expensive from the 4 new fragrances that Matt has just released. So this costs £65 for a 50 ml and it's an EDP concentration. And this has been created by a very skilled and very talented and well-respected perfumer. And the notes in this are bergamot. And in the mid we have some rose, some jasmine and some magnolia. And in the base, we have patchouli, amber and oud. Now, Matt described this to me as a fruity oud, and it is quite a fruity oud, but I would say that opening is more citrusy than sort of red fruits or anything. It's not like a ripened fruit oud. It's more of a citrus, fresh oud. So in the opening, it's quite bright and it's got a lot of pop. It is a statement opener. It definitely fills an area and it projects really well on first spray. Let me show you the bottle. So that is the label, the same as the rest of the range. It goes into the NE Plus Ultra range, and that is the colour of the juice. And then you get the black atomizer, the matte black finish on that, and again, as with all the atomizer on these fragrances, and again a great atomizer. Now, even just with that spray, it's filled this area immediately. It projects incredibly well in the opening. One thing that worried me about this was that it has rose in it. Now, this rose oud combination, this very traditional method of perfumery, is something that I'm not personally overly keen on. I wouldn't say I don't like it, it's just not my favourite style of fragrance. So when I see that, I was a little bit worried it was going to be your typical rose oud. It's not at all. It starts off, like I said, very citrusy. It's then got some white florals that start to come through, the magnolia and the jasmine, and they are more noticeable than the rose. So the rose is there, probably lending a smoothness and a slight jammy sweetness in there, which it has got, but it's not your traditional, wow, I'm a rose oud fragrance. So that rose sits nicely in the background. That's a good thing for me personally. This fragrance takes you on a journey. It is not linear at all. It changes throughout the wearing. So in the opening, you do get that bright citrus, but with a smack of oud immediately. But it's not a barnyardy oud. It's a very smooth, easy wearing oud. Now, one of my fragrance friends, Russell, compared it to the oud that you'd find in something like Oud for Greatness, and I wouldn't disagree with that. And I think he gets that because it's got that slight sweetness in there, and this has that too. The florals, like I've mentioned, they do play a major part in the wearing of this. They're always lingering there in the background. But once the citrus notes die down, as do the florals slightly, that's when you can detect that slight hint of rose coming through. And then once you start getting into the dry down, it really settles and it starts to sweeten more throughout the wearing. You get this really soft and smooth sweetness that comes through. So once it starts getting into the dry down, it really starts to soften and starts to sweeten up. It's a really lovely, soft, almost musky sweetness that starts to play a major role in this, along with some woods just sneaking up into the foreground. So once it starts getting into the dry down, it starts to become more smooth and more sweet. It's got a real comfortness. It's never too sweet, but the sweetness is a welcome addition to this. You look forward to the dry down. That's not to say that opening isn't right. The opening is one of the best parts about this, but what I think I'm trying to say is that every part of the wearing is appealing. You've got that lovely opening, and then the florals play a big part, and then it moves through and the creaminess and the wood start to play a part too. It goes in the deep, deep dry down, almost like a little bit vanillic. It goes a little bit creamy and it has some depth to it. I think that is a mix of the patchouli and the amber. It has this really opulent, rich, regal smell to it. I cannot believe that this is only £65. This would be at home in any of the high-end niche luxury brands, and I really do mean that. I feel that I'm in this little secret gang that can pick up this really high-end luxury fragrance for just £65. I think that's just incredible value for money for what you're getting from this. The quality of the ingredients smell fantastic. I would describe it as a sort of Middle Eastern or an Oriental fragrance. But it's also quite unique with this modern, woodsy, sweet, creamy dry down it has. And then along with that citrusy, poppy opening, it is definitely unique. Just to recap on this, it has that incredibly citrusy and poppy and bright opening with the oud coming in immediately. It has some gorgeous white florals that sneak through once the citruses fade back just a touch. A little bit of rose hiding in the background, and then this smooth, creamy, sweet woodiness starts to appear in the dry down, and that is gorgeous. The performance on this is incredible. It, like I said in the opening, it fills a room. It stays on clothes for hours, if not days. It really sticks to the skin. It's not oily. If I spray this on my hand and just show you, it doesn't go oily at all, but you can tell it has quite a nice concentration. You wouldn't need to go heavy on this. I would say 3-4 sprays maximum. Probably 2 sprays would be enough to last you most of the day. It is magic when you get it on skin. The difference in the smell to on a tester strip or on clothes to when you're putting it on skin is vast. When your skin starts to warm up, this fragrance starts to really come into its own and projects that little bit more and becomes this little bit sweeter. But you know what? Another thing that I found out, this would make an incredible base for lots of your favourite fragrances that need a little bit of oomph. I tried this first and I put on Fleur Guial afterwards, and I got that added oomph of more white florals over this oud fragrance, and that was really, really good. You could put this with lots of other fragrances, like I said, just to give it that added oomph and increase the wear-in. This fragrance almost has this dual personality. It's complex and takes you through different stages of the wearing, but at the same time, it's quite simple. So like I said, with that layering, it would work well for that. I'll really be honest, I didn't think that it would be my favourite of the 4 new releases, purely because I'm not the biggest oud fan. But I've been blown away by this. When I spray it, I keep having to go back to it. It is really addictive. I'm really intrigued by it. I really want to get to know it. And it's not something that I think you could wear with maybe a signature fragrance, but it's a real treat. It's something that I'm really going to enjoy wearing on a cold day. It's got enough about it to make it very interesting. I can see it getting compliments. It's a statement maker, and I'm really going to enjoy owning and having this in my collection. So I hope you enjoyed that review. Definitely my favourite of the 4 new releases. I like them all for different reasons, but this is the most interesting to me. I just absolutely love it. So well done, Matt, and congratulations to Pocketscents for releasing 4 absolute bangers and all original inspirations, which I think can only be a good thing for the company. I'll be leaving the website details in the description below. And I know I say it in every video, you must get bored of this, but if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. My stats say 56% of watchers that watch these videos that aren't subscribed to the channel. So if you don't want to miss any content, it'd be amazing if you could hit that subscribe button. It really does help the channel grow. Really appreciate you watching and joining me. Very excited to own this. I look forward to seeing you again in the next one. Don't forget to keep smelling wonderful.